We recently did a segment on the Euphrates River, and we talked about the prophecies in the book of Revelation, and we'll put a link to that video at the bottom below this video if you want to take a look at that. And it talks about the drying up of the Euphrates River and the armies of the East coming in to that area, the Middle East, specifically to Jerusalem. There's going to be a massive war there. There is some speculation that the armies of the East may be coming from China. East of the Middle East has to be either India or Iran or China. It seems those are the principal players. It's interesting to note that China also has the largest standing army of any army in the world. And I think if we look at the stats here, they have over 2 million soldiers standing in their army today, and another 2 million reserve soldiers for a total of about 4 million. And their military budget is $209 billion. And the United States has roughly 1.3 full-time military servicemen, and that's the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, and another 800,000 reserves, which brings their total number of soldiers to about 2 million. And the United States defense budget is, in 2021, $705 billion compared to approximately $200 billion from China. So the United States is the budget is almost 4 times that of China. Having said that, is China really a military threat, considering the fact that the United States has many more armaments than China?
I think you have to look at what China could do with their military, and a big part of having a strong military is deterrence. If the United States can't enforce their dollar system because of strong deterrences, then China's seemingly weaker military has done all that it needs to do. Now, of course, China continues to invest in their military. We don't know where their ambitions are going. It seems that the temptations of empire are very strong. When countries become rich and powerful, they are tempted to use that power in an aggressive way.
I'd like to say also, if you take a dollar bill and you try to spend it in a Western country like any European country or the United States, it doesn't go very far. But if you take that same dollar and you go to China, it does go a lot farther. So just because the United States has a little over $700 billion defense budget, and China has a $200 billion defense budget, perhaps that $200 billion goes a lot further in China because of the cost of labor, even the cost of materials to build these war instruments of war.
And we do see, of course, how China does have the largest surface fleet as far as number of ships. Now, that doesn't mean they have the most firepower. That doesn't mean they can send these ships around the world like the United States or even Britain or France or Russia can. But as you talked about, the dollars go a lot further. So those dollars can employ a lot more personnel, can support a lot more research in their universities and defense companies than those same dollars would in the United States.
Getting back to this passage in the book of Revelation, and maybe we could put that verse up there on the screen right now, where it talks about the Euphrates River drying. Could it be that the Chinese army would march in to Jerusalem or march into the Middle East for this big war that's coming in the future, that is prophesied in this chapter of Revelation? They've got 2 million foot soldiers. Would it be impossible for those foot soldiers to walk across that area? Or maybe they would transport them and get them close enough, and then they'd maybe walk the last leg of that journey if there was a big war? And would you need that many foot soldiers in a war today?
Well, so what's being talked about in Revelation is hard to see in our current world, because that's not how people fight wars. What's talked about there is hundreds of millions of people gathering for some world-ending battle. I don't know how that would happen with the countries that we know as we know them today. So it would be something radically outside our current understanding of geopolitics and different countries' militaries.
In the end times, many nations, including China, will try their hand at conquest. Ultimately, their fight will be against God. The Great Tribulation, which the Bible talks about, will be a very terrible time of warfare and disasters and divine judgment, but God has it all under control. And I'd like to leave us with this passage from the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verses 2 through 6, which says, "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion."